here at the opening of the iView World Film Festival being hosted at DLF Cyber Hub, Gurgaon. The film festival is being organized by Engendered, a transnational arts and human rights organization, and will be going on from 10th to 20th December. The film festival includes about over 50 shorts, documentaries and feature films curated from all around the world, including South Asia, Canada, Britain, Iran, Thailand, and all these films will be engaging with themes of human rights violations, gender, migration, oppression, as well as conflict. Today, at the opening, the film festival will begin with the screening of Deepa Mehta's Funny Boy, which is based on a book by the same title and is also Canada's official entry into the 93rd Academy Awards under the category of Best International Film. This film festival is basically about how films can kind of facilitate the dialogue of human rights and ensure that differences between cultures can be kind of mitigated through this space of art. How do you see that kind of taking shape at a time when there's a lot of censorship going on?
So I think this festival is an opportunity to showcase that film and arts can bring experiences, dialogue, lessons, and experiences from around the world and allow a conversation to take place and inspire us also to look at how we can all take an action to promote human rights in our communities, in our schools, in our workplaces.
Right. Yeah, of course. But another follow-up question I had was, people usually want to see films for entertainment purposes. So how do you make human rights itself commercially viable in that sense?
Right. So I think that's what, why we congratulate Engendered and the organizers of the festival for bringing forward these challenging issues and showcasing films that, are from all over the world and giving them a forum that is going to allow us to think about those challenging issues and where, the vulnerable people who are the subject of human rights issues, their issues are being given a venue.
I just wanted to ask you what your opinion on this festival is and why do you think it's important that arts facilitates the conversation around human rights?
I think every art should talk about human rights, and in a way every art talks about human rights only in a different way. But after 2020 was so, we had forgotten the human interaction. So this festival is happening and everything was online. So this is something offline, and I'm really excited to be here because cinema, art, everything is a community thing now. It's like a ritual, people meeting together and creating and celebrating human emotions and human aspects. So this is really important.
What do you think the importance of such film festivals is, given that, or how do you think that the future film festivals will be, given that COVID restrictions might not be uplifted anytime soon?
I don't know, मुझे लगता है कि पहले तो हम we should all be safe. That is the first priority. And film festivals and other art activities will resume pretty soon, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have one question. How happy are you with Delhi Crime's recent big recognition at the Emmys and everything? What does it mean to you personally as an actor? What does it mean in a broader sense of an Indian show getting a recognition that's so huge?
I think that's a huge recognition for not only for Delhi Crime team, but for all film industry and all of India. I think this will open up lot of avenues for everybody, not only for us. And getting Emmy for Delhi Crime is like a poetic justice, because this was based on a true incident which was horrific, but और उनके culprits को तो मिल ही चुकी है सज़ा, लेकिन in a way it reminds us again about that thing.
So I'm here because my film Sheer Kurma is being featured in this film festival. It's a lovely story about two Muslim queer brown women, and it's a relationship story with a stellar cast. It has Shabana Azmi ji, Divya Datta ji, me, a whole bunch of other very talented actors. Very, very sweet story, and I'm just really honored to be a part of it.
How has the audience response been to your latest work, Bhag Vini Bhag?
Amazing. Amazing. People have loved it a lot, and I'm really happy, and it's getting so much love, especially on social media, which is rare for me. I'm not used to having so much love on social media, so I'm feeling very grateful and blessed and
Taiwanese
happy.
president seems to have liked it as well.
She said good luck to me for it, which I thought was very, very gracious of her, and very exciting for me. Yeah.
Last question. Have the verbal spats with Kangna made the lockdown more bearable?
I should definitely thank Kangna for all the action, but I think that it may be a good time now for her to rest a little bit as well.
Funny Boy just premiered in India as part of the iView World Film Festival that is being that was hosted here at DLF Cyber Hub Gurgaon. So I will just have a conversation with Tanul Thakur, film critic and a regular reviewer of films for The Wire, about what he thought of the film.
So, I mean, it's Deepa Mehta's latest directorial project. It's also been selected as Canada's official Oscar entry. I mean, it's based on a 1994 novel of the same name. It's essentially about a young Tamilian Sri Lankan coming to terms with his sexual identity. The boy is homosexual, but I mean, he grows up amid a really conservative family, and at the backdrop of the film is a larger story of the bloody Sri Lankan civil war, and the film covers a few major incidents of the civil war in the 70s and the 80s, and in the parallel at the start of the film there's also a small love story between a Sri Lankan Tamil girl and a Sinhalese man. I thought the film was it's definitely a fascinating way to look at a subject which is, I mean, primarily say of gay desire in the movie, but then it's also so very deftly melded with the larger question as well, and there's a it's again how, I mean, the story itself lends to a premise where personal and the political really collide at such a large scale. What is personal? What is national? These things really segue quite naturally into the film, and it's definitely a new way to tackle a subject that has been sort of been done before, and an approach that really melds what at first looks like two disparate worlds, which is a person struggling with his identity and a nation struggling to come to terms with what it is and who its people are. And I thought that was something that was really striking about the film.
Thank you all for, first of all, Deepa, thank you very much for giving us this film. I'm so glad that we connected with you and it all worked out, and we did an India premiere, which is, wow, I'm so excited about it. Thank you. It's a very important film. It's, and I guess it's a subject close to you, considering you're a resident of Toronto, so there's the whole Toronto-Sri Lanka connection also. I want to start with what draws you to Sri Lanka. I know you went, water was made for specific reasons in Sri Lanka. I guess you went to Midnight Children also for the same reasons. It was easier for you. But this seems like your love letter to Sri Lanka in some ways. Is that a right way to say that?
I don't know if it's my love letter to Sri Lanka. I think, I don't know, can you hear me? I find that it's based on a book. It's based on a book by Shyam Selvadurai, who's actually autobiography, it is in a way. He is Archie,
Right.
and he grew up in Sri Lanka. He's queer. He came out in Sri Lanka, where it's still a criminal offense to be queer. And he went through the civil war, and then he left Sri Lanka. When I read the book, it was 26 years ago, and I thought it was beautiful then, and I thought of it as a coming of age story. But when it was offered to me 3 years ago, I thought it was a little bit more than that. What drew me to it is that for me it's a film about prejudice. It's a film about the marginalization of minorities, whether it be sexual or whether it be your caste, your culture, your religion. And it speaks to me of the times we are living in all over the world. So it's my love letter to the end of hatred, if anything.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked was because the Civil War ended about 10 years ago.
2009. Yes.
2000, so 11 years ago. And Sri Lanka's come a long way, but yet there are some very deep, the anger is still very deep between the two communities. They're living together because of they have to live together.
Isn't that the way it is all over the world?
I guess so, yeah. So I that's why I call it a love letter, because I think it's your way of saying that the healing has to happen. And in some ways, this film also sort of brings that healing.
You're right, Asim. I mean, there's a quote that I love by James Baldwin, and I hope I don't butcher it, but he says something like, the reason perhaps people hang on so stubbornly to hatred is because if they let go of it, it will reveal the pain. And only when we can reveal the pain can the healing start.
Yeah.
And I think it's very true of the communities, wherever there's been a sectarian war, anywhere in the world, or even wherever we are living now. Here.
Right.
The healing we have to let go of the hatred.
Right. Do you have a question? I can go on.
It was like a meditative thing. It was so nice to just listen.
Yeah.
You've already asked the question that I actually wanted to ask, which is what drew you to this film, to this story? Why did you want to tell this story? But I think you've already answered that. I've been speaking to you so much about the film for the last 3 weeks.
I know.
I don't feel. But tell us a little bit about, the process of the film, because I know that it was almost 2 years. And I think when people come to watch a film, it's over in 2 hours. And yet it literally is a labor of love. I mean, it's taken over 2 years for you to complete this film, all the way starting from the casting of the film to the time. So tell us a little bit more about the process.
The process of making this film it takes about an average of 2 years to make a film, really. For this, it was a bit more difficult because, like in India, you have to get permission from the National Commission of Film, which is a government body in Sri Lanka. You give the script to them, and then they read it, and they give you approval. And only when you get government approval can you make this film. And it took us 1 year to get that approval. I mean, we kept on going back and getting refused, and for many reasons. One of them was because, homosexuality or queerness or LGBTQ is still a criminal offense. And even though it's a beloved book in Sri Lanka, which is sort of ironic, and has been translated into Sinhala and is taught in the university, there is something about reading which is different than seeing. And I think that's what made them slightly nervous, as well as the portrayal of the Civil War. They were nervous about that. And then we sort of got lucky in a way that at the end of the year, the government was sort of starting to rumble a bit. And Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is the PM then, and a very liberal PM, suddenly said, I think you should definitely make the film. And he gave us permission, and we literally had 2 months to go in there. We were already there. We were hanging around the offices all the time to go in there and make the film. And we came out, and the government changed radically. And it is a nationalist, populist government in Sri Lanka now. And we would have never gotten the permission, ever.
Thank you for joining us for the iView World Film Festival that is being organized by Engendered here at DLF Cyber Hub Gurgaon. The film festival becomes incredibly relevant today given its both time as well as venue. Not only is today the International Day for Human Rights, but not too far from here, the farmers' protests, one of the largest the country has seen, continues to rage on and meet government resistance. At a time when even a simple tweet is being taken as contempt of court and censorship is abound, film festivals such as these, which address the role of films as facilitators of the dialogue on human rights, become incredibly important. In case you are interested, you can register on the link that is attached with the caption and watch all the films that are there as part of this film festival, as well as watch the panels that will be hosted online. Hope you like. Thank you and good night.
To receive instant updates on all videos from The Wire, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Pay to support independent journalism. Click the link in the description and choose the amount you want to pay.